In recent months, communities across the United States have witnessed a profound retrenchment of retail giants, reshaping the landscape of daily life for millions. Once celebrated for its abundance of affordable goods and convenient access, the American retail sector is now retracting at unprecedented speed. A resident of Seattle captures the prevailing sentiment. We already have a hard time affording groceries here in Seattle because it's a very high cost of living. It's upsetting that we're going to have to pay more. It affects everybody's lives. This investigation draws upon government labor statistics, retail industry reports, and field interviews to chart the crisis unfolding in 10 key states. New York stands as the archetype of urban commerce, yet its streets are steadily growing quieter. Historically, families in Brooklyn and Manhattan flocked each weekend to Targets, Best Buys, and department store flagships. According to the New York State Department of Labor, nearly 1,000 retail outlets shuttered across the state in the last year, including staples such as CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Beyond, and Macy's. The same data reveal that retail sector unemployment has climbed to 7.5%, the highest level recorded since the onset of the pandemic, while commercial rents in mixed residential zones have surged 11%. Consumers now confront dwindling product selections, longer travel times, and steeper price tags. Elderly residents unaccustomed to online ordering face particular hardship, forced either to ration trips for food and medicine or to rely on distant, often pricier alternatives. Though corporate balance sheets often report robust profits and Wall Street remains undeterred, neighborhoods that once formed the backbone of New York's retail economy have been abandoned without fanfare. On the West Coast, California, home to some of the nation's most dynamic shopping corridors, is experiencing an equally stark downturn. The California Retailers Association estimates more than 1,500 store closures in 2024 alone, encompassing major players such as Target, CVS, Walgreens, Nordstrom, and Walmart. Across both urban centers and rural backdrops, retail disasters are emerging where no national chain remains. UC Berkeley economists report a 9.1% increase in consumer goods prices over the last 12 months, well above the national average, forcing families to hunt relentlessly for discounts. One Southern California mother of three described a week's groceries costing $338, nearly all of it spent on basic items. In regions without reliable public transit, low-income and elderly Californians face mounting dilemmas, sacrifice nutritional quality to save money, or endure long, costly journeys to distant stores. The departure of traditional retail outlets has not only stripped residents of choice, but has removed vital sources of employment, at a time when many businesses are automating positions. In Texas, long acclaimed as a retail mecca, with low taxes and expansive shopping malls, more than 300 major stores, among them Walmart, Walgreens, Dollar Tree, and CVS, closed their doors in 2024. Suburban and low-income towns are especially hard hit. Infrastructure that once supported working class families is frayed, with remaining distributors raising prices to offset higher operating costs. Those without personal vehicles or reliable rides face acute hardship. In the El Paso area and Houston's outlying suburbs, elderly residents now depend on family members for transportation or endure weeks without access to essential food and medical supplies. Local independent shops struggle to fill the void, but their limited inventories and higher price points deepen the region's sense of economic abandonment. As retail chains withdraw, adjacent businesses, cafes, dry cleaners, daycare centers suffer from sharply reduced foot traffic, eroding the social cohesion that once defined Texas communities. Half a continent away, Mississippi confronts an even more acute crisis. Walmart stores once functioned as communal hubs, places to shop, to converse, and to remain anchored in a shared civic life. Over the past 18 months, more than 700 retail locations have closed statewide, with discount chains like Dollar Tree, CVS, and Walgreens leading the retreat. Consequently, some 40% of rural counties no longer host a large-scale grocery store, transforming once vibrant towns into a food deserts. Basic household costs, including diapers, medicine, and staple groceries, have risen by 10 to 20%, pushing many families into debt or nutritional compromise. The exodus of younger populations seeking employment elsewhere has left behind aging communities with diminished purchasing power. Here, the loss of retail brands signifies more than commercial restructuring. It represents the removal of essential financial support and community gathering points that sustained local economies and social networks. Illinois, particularly the suburbs radiating from Chicago, was long celebrated for its dense constellation of retail options. A Walgreens on every corner, a Walmart across the street, a Target next to the pharmacy. These conveniences fostered the sense of an integrated, self-sufficient community. Self-sufficient community. Today, hundreds of Walgreens branches have closed across the state. That CVS has announced plans to withdraw from middle-income and senior neighborhoods, and Dollar Tree is shuttering underperforming stores. The calculus is stark. Where profit margins dip, national chains depart. The consequences for workers are immediate. Cashiers, stock clerks, and store managers must pivot to seasonal labor or early retirement, often at reduced incomes and with scant benefits. Consumers who once relied on a 5-minute trip for fresh produce or over-the-counter remedies now endure bus rides exceeding 40 minutes or pay premium rates at small independents. Illinois' plight underscores a nationwide pattern in which corporate retrenchment sidelines the very communities that supported decades of profitable growth. In Pennsylvania, once the industrial heartland of America, the manufacturing towns of Pittsburgh, Scranton, and Allentown have similarly felt the pinch. From 2022 to 2024, more than 700 major retail outlets have ceased operations statewide amid a 9.6% spike in central Philadelphia commercial rents. Competing states such as Ohio and New Jersey have enticed retailers with generous tax incentives, leaving Pennsylvania's aging workforce to scramble for low-wage, unstable positions in sectors ill-equipped to absorb displaced employees. Consumers face escalating prices and uncertainty about product quality and safety. For many, the weekly trip to the market has become a burdensome expedition rather than a routine activity, threatening the fragile bonds that once held these communities together. The industrial legacy of Michigan, anchored in Detroit's auto plants and Flint's manufacturing corridors, once guaranteed a dense network of supermarkets and drugstores within walking distance of most neighborhoods. Now, entire blocks lie empty of national chains. Walmart has closed numerous branches in predominantly black and low-income districts. Walgreens and CVS have each retracted from once bustling enclaves, leaving behind vacant storefronts and rusting Felice signs. With few retail options within a 10 to 15-mile radius, residents face soaring prices, driven by the added costs of transporting goods from distant distribution centers. In Flint, low-income families must decide whether to invest time and money in lengthy drives for essentials or to rely on smaller outlets that charge significantly higher rates. Michigan's relatively moderate poverty levels belie the speed with which corporate decisions have deprived entire communities of fundamental retail services. In rural Georgia, towns from Mononista to scattered countryside hamlets once boasted a reassuring trifecta of local stores: Dollar General for daily groceries, CVS for prescriptions, and Walmart for larger purchases. Over the past 2 years, hundreds of these outlets have closed, leaving some communities without a grocery or pharmacy within a 20-mile radius. One Monroe resident recalls, we lost the largest supermarket in town. Now people only have the choice between overpriced convenience stores or driving dozens of miles for fresh food. The absence of nearby retail not only hinders nutrition and health, but also frays social connectivity, as grocery runs were often the few opportunities for neighbors to interact. With local incomes stagnating, families must now choose between paying rent, buying medicine, or putting nutritious food on the table. Nevada presents a stark juxtaposition. While the Las Vegas Strip dazzles with casinos and luxury hotels, outlying neighborhoods face creeping retail abandonment. In the past 2 years, more than 410 major stores, including Walmart, Walgreens, Office Depot, and Big Lots, have disappeared from the valley, resulting in a 25% vacancy rate in retail space. For night shift casino employees, The closure of late-night outlets means arriving home to empty shelves. Elderly residents increasingly depend on mobile food pantry services as their nearest full-service supermarket vanishes. As national chains withdraw from middle-class neighbourhoods, those left behind confront only small convenience stores charging steep prices for limited goods. In Nevada, the city that never sleeps is, for many, a landscape of perpetual retail darkness. Finally, Ohio, once regarded as a model of balanced growth in the Northeast, now mirrors the plight of its southern and western counterparts. There, Dollar Tree has shuttered numerous branches, CVS is pulling out of city centre locations, Walmart is retracting from low and middle-income districts. In Youngstown, a 70-year-old retiree laments, "I used to walk to the store near my house every morning. Now that place is closed." I live alone. No car. No one is taking me. So I have to stay home. In Akron, a mother of 3 confesses, "I don't know how to teach my children when every time we go to the market, we have to choose between a nutritious meal or buying medicine. Fine medicine." The closures are not simply business decisions. They represent an erosion of community anchors, employment opportunities, and the sense that individual needs matter in a market economy. Across these 10 states, from New York's skyscrapers to Ohio's towns, the departure of national retailers underscores a growing divide between corporate profitability and communal sustainability. What is lost is more than merchandise or low prices. It is the assurance that essential goods and services remain within reach, that communities retain their economic lifeblood, and that the social fabric, stitched together by daily interactions, endures. As these patterns accelerate, questions arise about the responsibilities of corporations, the role of public policy in safeguarding access, and the strategies communities must adopt to restore local commerce. In an era of data-driven consolidation, the most fundamental measure of a nation's health may now be found not on the trading floor, but on the quiet streets where stores have simply disappeared.